we deal a lot with technology. I mean, and I don't mean the technology that we cover, metrology equipment, that sort of stuff. Just as a business, we deal with technology all the time. We've got apps that allow us to communicate with each other. So when we work at home, we all use Excel and Word and Google and all these things. So I'm wondering, when you look at your life, your work life or your home life or whatever, what technology, personally, do you feel helps you the most? And what technology you think has been more of a hindrance than help? But you're locked into it just because it's what everybody uses.
I would say on both ends, it's my smartphone. I mean,
damn phones.
I mean,
how do I work this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the most technologically cultivated person in the world.
No,
but, I mean, no, I'm not. As you will well know, Dirk, how do I do this? But I mean, we do have a lot of systems that, and what I've noted, apart from the hardware of the smartphone, in terms of software, I mean, it's really become somewhat idiot-proof, a lot of this stuff, because I can do it. So that's why I know it's idiot-proof. But it's become so easy to do stuff. The templates that exist now for things like WordPress are really easy. I mean, they really make it very simple. You really only have to just kind of follow some prompts, and you can accomplish some basic stuff. You can't really do a deep dive in a lot of it. But increasingly, I think the talent of developers to do a much better job of understanding users. I think in other generations of technology, there wasn't as much of a real understanding of how users.
It's what the engineer thought was going to be a good idea, and it's like the user.
What do you? Yeah, how do you?
What am I doing? Yeah.
But I think there's a much better understanding now of, okay, let's do, and I think it's a customer journey thing.
Yeah.
I think that we hear about it from we do it, and we hear from a lot of our customers too. They come up with a person. A person that they know, Technology Terry, or they're like, this person needs to get an understanding of how to use their smartphone.
Right.
All right, well, let's pretend we know nothing. Or let's get somebody in focus groups that knows nothing.
Who knows nothing.
And start interviewing them. All right, take this phone, start using it.
Well, that's, who's the gal who, we cover sometimes. She has the customer journey.
Annette France.
Annette France.
Yeah, she does that.
She does that, and that's always one of her suggestions. Is like, you've got to have a neophyte who takes your product or your software, or who knows nothing about it. If they can use it, great. If they can't use it, you got to pay attention to where is the stuff. Where are they getting confused? And I think you talk about smartphones, but I talk about almost any app. We use Google Drive a lot.
Sure.
Is one of the big, I think, things that irritates the heck out of people. And Facebook is the same thing. Is like every 6 months, they decide to change an interface or how something works, and then so the next time you log on to Facebook, you're going, what?
Yeah.
What? Where is that menu was? Where? And it's almost unavoidable. And as people say, hey, it's free, so you deal with it. But I think that is one of the things that happens with technology. You have a technology, it's really good, and then of course, they want the developer wants to improve it, so they make changes, and they don't necessarily, that we know of, maybe they do, run focus groups to see how is that change going to impact others. Are people going to easily, even if it's a good change, are people easily going to track with it? Is it intuitive that you've moved this menu from here to here or whatever?
We saw it not long ago with WebEx, where there were some changes in WebEx that we were like, oh my gosh, where is all this stuff now?
Yeah, well, that's a good example.
Yeah, I mean, but what I found is, and I don't know if this is just because of the way you adapt or whatever, it seems to me that once you do play with it, you're like, okay, yeah, that change actually does make a lot of sense.
Right. It is valuable.
Better.
Yeah.
This version is better almost always, but is it really better, or is it just that you got used to it again? Right. I don't know. I mean,
well, speaking of Taylor, sometimes we think something's better just because it's different.
Right.
Remember, that was one of the experiments that Taylor is like, well, we'll make the lights brighter, and all of a sudden, oh wow, this is a lot better.
That's right.
Well, make them dimmer. It's just change.
That refreshes the mind and gets you to look at something differently. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, technology is a weird one. I mean, like I say, I really feel like what I said first is true, and not just about cell phones, about smartphones. everything, the technology is a burden and it's an opportunity. I mean, it's all that way. Because most of us aren't like you. You're really good at this stuff. Jeff Dewar is very good at this stuff. Chris Martin on our team is very good at this stuff. Chris Smith. I mean, a lot of you guys are really, really good at this stuff. Some of us aren't. I mean, I'm not that great at it, and it's like, it is a burden to have to work your way around and figure stuff out when you don't have an engineering mindset. And most people don't in the world have an engineering mindset. They look at something, they're like,
Right.
What?
Well, the real secret here is actually Ryan Day went, and I had to do this morning. If you can't figure something out, give it to your kid or your grandkid. He had to do that. Ryan was trying to figure, I couldn't figure it out either, how to do something on his smartphone.
Yeah.
So then he texts me back and says, I gave it to my granddaughter. It's all solved now. It's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, not to go too far into this, but I mean, one of the frustrations I have with technology and apps in particular, because there's some fantastically robust apps out there that do incredible amounts of things. Like our CRM does a lot.
Yeah.
I know like 10%, 25% of what it does. And I'm thinking I know there's a lot more here, the value that I can derive out of this, but I just don't want to invest the time.
Because you got work to do.
Because I got work to do. So I'm like, well, it does what I need to do. That's fine.
That's fine.
It's what I do. But I know there's more to it. I'm like, I can do more with this. It's designed to do these things, you know? So you try to figure it out. You call service, whatever you do. You call Dirk and you say, hey, Dirk, figure this out.
And Dirk calls tech support. And then I report back to you.
Yeah, right.
See, that's my trick.
But that's not uncommon either. That they're so robust which is good in a way because echelons of users can use it in different ways. So if you are an expert power user, you can get a lot of functionality. If you're a basic user that has basic functions, you can just use it at that level. So that's important too.
Yep.
Yeah, technology. Can't live with it, can't
live with it.
Throw it away.